Hi, friends. Welcome to Daily Slow English. In today's story, a city girl named Clara meets a country boy named Ethan. Through her trip, we'll learn how to describe city life and country life from their living environment, transportation, jobs, and social life. Together, let's practice English and explore everyday life in North America. Are you ready? Let's get started. Clara, a 20-year-old city girl, had spent her whole life surrounded by tall buildings and glowing screens. When her university assigned a film project called The Simple Life, she chose to travel to a small countryside village, hoping to capture the kind of quiet she had only ever seen in pictures. When she arrived, everything felt new. The open sky, the stillness, the smell of rain-soaked earth. Her guide, Ethan, was waiting near the old train station. He was a young man with sun-tanned skin and calm eyes, wearing boots still dusted with soil.
You must be Clara.
He said with a gentle smile.
Welcome to the middle of nowhere.
She laughed softly.
It's quieter than I expected.
You'll get used to it.
He replied.
Here, even the wind talks slower.
They got into an old pickup truck. As they drove along the quiet road, Clara looked out the window. There were green fields, tall trees, and small farms everywhere. The wind was soft, and the sky seemed endless. Ethan told Clara that in the countryside, people live close to nature.
In the countryside, people live in big houses or on farms. We have space, gardens, and animals. It's peaceful, and our neighbors live far apart.
Clara listened carefully, thinking about her own home in the city.
In the city, we live in apartments or tall buildings. It's convenient but crowded and noisy. Sometimes I miss the sound of silence.
Here, silence is never far away.
The two smiled as the wind carried the quiet rhythm of the countryside around them. Every place has its own way of living. Let's start by learning some words to describe the living environment in the city and the countryside. Modern. The buildings are tall and modern. Noisy. Downtown streets are always noisy and busy. Exciting. Life in big cities is exciting and full of energy. Quiet. The countrysides are quiet and calm. Natural. The countryside feels more natural and real. Peaceful. People enjoy a peaceful life close to nature. The next morning, Ethan was getting ready to take Clara to his family farm. Clara looked around and asked curiously.
Are there buses here?
Ethan shook his head.
Not really. In the countryside, most people get around by car or on foot. There's not much public transportation. Most people drive to work, to school, or to the store.
Clara said.
That's so different from the city. In the city, there are so many ways to travel: buses, trains, taxis, even bikes for rent. Everything moves fast. People can get to work or go out in just a few minutes.
Ethan smiled.
Maybe that's the difference. Here we don't hurry.
I can see that
Clara said quietly.
time feels slower here, but in a good way.
Ethan opened the truck door for Clara. She smiled, got in. They drove to the farm. The way people travel also shows how different life can be. Let's learn some words to describe transportation in the city and the countryside. Busy. City roads are always busy with cars and buses. Crowded. The subway is crowded during rush hours. Fast. Trains and taxis make city travel fast and easy. Simple. Transportation here is simple, just cars, bikes, or walking. Limited. Public transportation is limited in the countryside. Slow. Country people's travel is slow but safe. When they reached the farm, Clara began filming. Ethan showed her the barn, the field, and the chicken coop. He smiled and said,
People here wake up early, usually before sunrise. We start the day by feeding the animals, milking the cows, and checking the crops. Most of the hard work happens in the spring and summer, when we plant seeds and take care of the growing crops. Fall is busy too. People harvest crops and get ready for winter. But in winter, things slow down. The days are short and we spend more time indoors, fixing tools, repairing fences, or just sitting by the fire.
He pointed to the orchard and said,
That's where we pick apples every fall.
Cows grazed in the distance, and the smell of fresh hay filled the air. Ethan said,
Country people work hard. It's not easy, but it's real.
Clara smiled and said,
In the city, life feels very different. People wake up later, usually around 7 or 8. The busiest hours are between 9 and 5. Weekdays feel fast, like the whole city is running on a clock. Weekends are the only time to slow down. People sleep in, go shopping, meet family, or relax in cafes.
Ethan nodded with a gentle smile.
Maybe city people grow ideas. We just grow food.
They both laughed. The kind of laughter that bridges two worlds. Work is a big part of life, and it looks very different in the city and the countryside. Let's learn some describing words for different kinds of work and jobs. Professional. Most city jobs require professional skills. Creative. City life helps people become more creative. Stressful. Many people find their jobs stressful. Relaxed. Life here feels relaxed and simple. Content. Farmers are content with what they have. Hardworking. Farmers are hardworking and patient. After visiting the farm, they went to the small town nearby. They sat in a local cafe, drinking coffee and talking. Ethan said,
This cafe has the most popular donuts in town. Across the street, there's a general store. It's a small shop, but you can find almost everything there. Food, tools, clothes, and even postcards. The owner knows everyone in town and people often stop by just to chat. It's not fancy, but it's friendly. A place where neighbors still call each other by name.
After the short break, Ethan and Clara walked down the main street and stopped at the farmer's market. Colorful tents lined both sides of the road. The air smelled of fresh bread, flowers, and ripe fruit. Ethan smiled and said,
This is our farmer's market. It opens every Sunday. People from nearby farms come here to sell what they grow. Fresh vegetables, fruit, honey, and homemade cheese.
Clara looked around, amazed by the friendly voices and bright colors. She lifted her camera and whispered,
It feels alive, like the heart of the town.
Clara said.
In the city, people shop at supermarkets or malls. It's convenient. You can find anything you need anytime, but it's all very fast. We pick up things from the shelves, pay at the machine, and leave. Sometimes we don't even know who grows the food or where it comes from. Everything feels so distant, even when the store is full of people.
Ethan listened quietly, glancing at the friendly faces around the market. He smiled and said,
That's the difference. Here we don't just buy food, we know the people behind it.
The way people shop tells a lot about their lifestyle. Let's learn some words to describe shopping in the city and the countryside. Convenient. Shopping in the city is convenient. Stores are open every day. Expensive. Things in the city are often more expensive. Varied. Shopping in the city is varied. There are many choices like malls, markets, and brand stores. Local. Most products are local. Vegetables, honey, and handmade goods. Affordable. Prices are usually affordable in small town shops and markets. Traditional. Shopping in the countryside is traditional. People still talk face to face. On the morning of the third day, Ethan said he wanted Clara to see more of the town. They went to school. Ethan smiled and said,
That's where I studied when I was a kid.
During recess time, children were laughing and playing outside. Clara smiled as she filmed the bright yellow school bus and the friendly teacher greeting students at the door. Next, they stopped by the library. It was small but cozy, with wooden shelves full of books. Clara walked inside and whispered.
It's so quiet and cozy.
Ethan nodded.
People come here to read, study, or just enjoy the peace.
Their last stop was the post office, where a friendly clerk greeted them with a wave. Ethan said,
Everyone in town comes here to send letters and pick up packages. It's also a place to meet and talk. A small connection in our everyday life.
Clara smiled and said softly.
Your town feels like one big family.
Ethan laughed.
That's exactly what it is.
Whether in the city or the countryside, people build connections in their own ways. Let's learn some words to describe community and social life. Friendly. Neighbors are friendly and greet each other. Active. The city is full of active and social people. Diverse. City communities are diverse, with people from many cultures. Helpful. People here are always helpful and ready to lend a hand. Welcoming. The villagers are warm and welcoming. Close-knit. Country people know each other in a close-knit community. In the afternoon, Ethan took Clara for a walk along a quiet country road. The golden sunlight fell on the fields, and the air was cool and still. Ethan said,
People here love being outdoors. We go fishing, hiking, or camping. Sometimes we just walk and watch the sunset. It's simple, but it makes us feel free.
Clara smiled.
In the city, some people like to rush to the gym or grab dinner with friends. Others go to the movies or concerts. There's always something to do, but it's hard to slow down.
They reached the woods near a small river. The water sparkled under the late afternoon sun. Clara lifted her camera and began to film. Ethan stood nearby, watching her with a smile.
Close your eyes for a moment.
Ethan said softly. Clara did. She heard the wind in the trees, the gentle sound of water over stones, and the distant song of birds.
It's beautiful.
She whispered. Ethan nodded.
That's the sound of the countryside.
As dusk fell, the sky began to change. The last light faded from the horizon, and one by one the stars appeared. So many that Clara forgot to breathe. She looked up and whispered,
In the city, we never see this. The lights hide the stars. At night, the sky is bright with buildings and signs. It's exciting, but it never feels as peaceful as this.
They sat there for a long time, not speaking, not moving, just watching the stars fill the dark blue sky. It felt as if the world had slowed down, and for that one moment, nothing else existed but the quiet and the light above them. Every place has its own beauty, in nature, history, and culture. Let's learn some words to describe the natural and cultural sides of city and country life. Historic. Some cities are historic with old buildings. Cultural. Cities are cultural centers with museums and art galleries. Dynamic. The city is dynamic, always growing, always changing. Scenic. The countryside is scenic, with rolling hills and open fields. Connected. People feel connected to nature and to one another. Harmonious. People live in a harmonious way with nature and animals. The next morning, Clara's project was finished. Her train would leave at noon. They walked to the station in silence.
I came here to film the simple life,
Clara said.
but I think I found something more. A life that feels real.
Ethan smiled faintly.
And I learned that cities have their own kind of dreams too, full of hope, courage, and endless possibilities.
Before she left, Clara handed him a printed photograph, a still frame of him standing in the golden field, smiling under the sun.
For you,
She said. Ethan took out a small wooden camera charm he had carved.
And this is for you, to remember that sometimes the best pictures happen when you stop trying to take them.
The train whistle blew. She waved from the window, and he waved back until she disappeared behind the curve of the hills. Some goodbyes are quiet, not because they mean less, but because they mean more. Years later, Clara worked as a documentary filmmaker in the city. Her days were filled with schedules, edits, and deadlines. Yet sometimes, when she paused at night, she would open a small box in her drawer. Inside lay the wooden camera, still smooth from his hands. City lights had taught her how to dream. Country stars had taught him how to breathe. And somewhere between the two, they found something that would never fade, the quiet warmth of understanding. That's today's story. In the city, life is fast, modern, and full of opportunities, but it can also be busy and stressful. In the countryside, life feels peaceful, natural, and close to nature, filled with friendship, open skies, and simple joys. I hope you learned some useful English today and maybe discovered a little more about everyday life in North America. Don't forget to subscribe and join us again for more fun and easy English learning. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye for now.